lovelies, how are you? Today I'm going to be answering your questions that you have always wanted to ask an Irish person, that being me. I put out a questions tab on my Instagram stories and now I'm going to go through them. So let's go. That's easy. Best thing, the people. They're super sound and they're great crack. Can't fault them. Worst thing is probably the weather. I'm sure you can hear right now that behind me it is absolutely lashing rain, and this time of year we get very little daylight. In fact, this is my second time filming this video because last time I filmed it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and by the time I finished it, sure, it was pitch black and I was grainy as fuck. So the weather is not ideal, but when it's sunny, it's the best country in the world. Yeah, absolutely. Like, we have so many American tourists coming like every single year. We even have a museum basically dedicated to it called the Epic Museum. A lot of the stories in the Epic Museum are centred around people who left Ireland during the famine to go to America. I would say for this one, Sligo. I don't see Sligo enough on all of our like tourism brochures and that kind of stuff. Like, the landscape in Sligo is outrageous. We have this thing called Ben Bulben and it kind of looks like a green Uluru. And then we just have the Glenelg Horseshoe, Mullimore. Like, it's just a stunning county. It's one of my absolute favourites and it's where my nanny is from, and I just love Sligo. Big fan. Great food there too. Is it Chicago or New York that dyes their river green? Like, I just think that's crazy. I don't mind it. I think any excuse to celebrate the Irish is a great thing. But the only qualm I have is when people call it Paddy's Day. It is called Paddy's Day. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Absolutely. I think one of the best things about Ireland is it's small, it's compact, so you can get literally from one side of the country to the other in half a day. Like, the longest journey you'll have is probably like 5 hours, and that's from like Dublin to Kerry or like Cork to Donegal or something. You can get everywhere by car. You can see so much in a short amount of time, and every county has its own like unique thing to discover. So if you're an outdoorsy couple and you don't want to just kind of like sit on a sun lounger for 2 weeks, then I would 100% recommend Ireland. Such a beautiful place. Everybody should see it. It depends who you are, it depends where in the country you are, and it depends how brushed up you are on your history. Do I love the Crown? Absolutely not. Do you know what I mean? Probably because we love to drink. Our weekends centre around drinking. We just love drinking. We love the crack. Not as loved as it freaking should be. Oh my god, this is one of my biggest pet peeves about the country. We learn Irish when we're 4 years old and we stop learning when we're 18 and we leave school. And to say that people leave at age 18 and they can't even put a sentence together, and it just wrecks my head because like it's such a powerful, beautiful thing for your country to have its own language, and I just wish more people saw that and I wish more people spoke it. Like, I'm just so passionate about it, and I just think it's like the most amazing thing ever that we still have managed to hold on to the language. I just wish more people had an appreciation for it. I think that that is changing. I see so many more people who have left school interested in learning it. Hopefully this is the start of an Irish language revolution and everybody in the country will be speaking Gaeilge soon enough. That's my dream. Yes and no. I think back in the day people had more time to be in the pub. Like, our generation is very much like work focused and like longer hours in the office because that's just how it is at the moment, but like that does not mean that we don't absolutely love a pub. So what we usually do is we'd go to a pub before we go to a nightclub, and that's honestly my favourite part of the night. Like, I just love being in pubs. Pre-COVID, like if you were in town on like a Thursday or a Friday, sure, you literally cannot find a seat in any of the pubs in the city. Like, there's so many people like standing outside with pints because the pubs are just so busy. So I do think pub culture is alive and well. I would say Sligo, Galway, Kerry and Dublin are my faves, but they're definitely the ones I've done the most. So there's definitely like other beautiful counties, like Waterford is beautiful, Cork is stunning, so Clare, love Clare, just go everywhere. this might get me in trouble, but I find it quite annoying because like literally so many people you meet and they're like, oh, I'm like 1/25 Irish, and you're like, what? I guess it's an amazing thing. I guess it's a really positive thing. I don't know if there is something called standard Irish, but like some of the dialects would be maybe a little bit more difficult. Like people say that they find like the Gaeilge from the north side of the country a little bit harder to decipher because they'd have like different grammar rules to us, and it's a lot more musical than the kind of Irish that I would have. But my best friend has that Irish, so like I find it totally fine. But sometimes if I meet someone from like the heart of the Gaeltacht areas, I'm like, whoa, because they speak so quickly. We don't get snow, we barely get sun, so we mostly get rain. Like, again, it kind of depends where you are in the country, but like there, you know, if you go to somewhere like Belfast, you can clearly see which areas are Protestant and Catholic, because on the east side of Belfast you've got like Union Jacks everywhere, and you know, on the west side of Belfast you've got like the Falls Road and the Culture Lawn and like Irish flags everywhere. So like in places like that you can feel it. I love this question because I love lock-ins. So basically a lock-in is pubs in Dublin have like a liquor license till about like 2:30, I'd say, and then they all like shut their doors. But if you're say in the pub and they're shutting their doors, sometimes if you're lucky they'll let you stay in. So that's what a lock-in is. It's like staying in past when it's like officially closed, and that's where the best crack of all time is. You do be having sing-songs, dances, like we love a lock-in, and then you're coming out of that pub at like 6 in the morning and it's just, they are the best nights of your life. I think any language is more difficult to learn as an adult, but we have a seanchal in Irish, which is a proverb that says Déanann cleachta muisteacht, which means practice makes perfect. Yes, of course it is. I would never go to into a pub and be like, can I have an Irish whiskey? No. I've gotten big into whiskey in the last few years, like I absolutely love it, but I would never drink like an American whiskey or like a bourbon, or I would never drink like a scotch. Like it will always be Irish whiskey for me, because let's be real, it's the best in the world. Okay guys, they are my questions. I hope that they've been insightful to you. If you have any more, leave them below, and of course I will get back to you and answer them. And until next week, I will see you around. Gramor, Slán!